Hi guys, it is Sunday, October 1st, 2023, and I'm here to do my September WIP update. Um, September was a pretty good month. I actually made it to 5,000 stitches this month by the skin of my teeth. I made it to 5,003 stitches last night, and I had to push to get there. It felt like it took me 4 hours to do like 200 stitches. It was ridiculous. I don't know why it took me so long, but I got there, so I finally made it to 5,000 stitches. Um, so um, I have some whips, and I have a new start, which 200 stitches in, and I've already screwed it up. But and I have a finish, and I have some stash, and some categories and plans, and yeah. So I guess we'll get started, and I guess we will start with my finish. So. Laurel should come more prepared for her videos. She really should. Oh, alright. So this is my finish. This is Cabin Fever by Mill. And I started this in May. I started this for the road trip because I needed the cabin, and I needed the fire, and I needed the s'more for several prompts and road trip. And I finished it on September 3rd. I had made a goal. I think I talked about this in my last video, that I made a goal that I wanted to finish it over Labor Day weekend, and I wanted to finish it on Labor Day, I think was the plan. And I thought on Sunday, well, let me work on it today, because the more I work on it today, the easier it'll be to finish it tomorrow. But then I kept beating, and it was not very late, and I'm like, I think I could finish this tonight, and I did. So it was 782 stitches to finish it. So there's my Cabin Fever by Mill Hill. And this is my 4th finish for the year. Okay, we'll save the new start for later. How about that? This stuff is kind of perched precariously over here. Alright, so, whips. I worked on a lot of stuff this month. Partly because of categories, partly because of road trip. Just different things. And I ended up pulling out a lot of projects this month. This first project is one that I've shown a couple of times this year. I've done a lot of stitches on it this year. Certainly more than I did last year. This is the 3 Things Sampler by Moira Blackburn. And I did 801 stitches on it this month. My goal for this month was to finish page 2, and I did that. So there it is. There's pages 1 and 2. The only parts of page 2 that I didn't finish there's a little bit of this line up here there's a few stitches up here that I should have done. And there's a couple of places where page 3 overlaps, the little bit of page 3 overlaps on page 2, like part of the W, and I didn't do that, but I'll pick those up with page 3. So there's page 2 of the 3 Things Sampler, and that made me very happy. That was one of my WIP Go pieces, or projects, squares. So page 3 will probably be next year, Laurel's problem. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year. I'm certainly not going to finish it this year, but I'm not even sure that I'm going to start it this year. It might get pushed into next year. I have enough things to do, and the year is very quickly ending. It's completely crazy that it's October already. Um, I still have a lot to do, so this is probably gonna get pushed into next year. All right. This Miss Mai. I'm not going to show you a picture because it's far enough along that you can see what she looks like. Um, Here's Miss Mai. This is by Dimensions Gold Collection Petite. And I did 501 stitches in her. And I finished this whole bottom part here of her obi, and I filled in this flower on her kimono. I did this whole bottom section. My plan for today, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not, I might pick something else because road trip, was to finish all of this, the branch and the stitches that remain in her hair. There's some ninja stitches here in her obi that I need to pick up. And since I decided not to do the background, to pick out all this background that I did over here, I don't know if that's going to happen today, but it is going to happen at some point that I'm going to go and fill all that in and get everything done except for November and December. Or October and November is the bottom of her kimono. And so I'll finish all of the remaining stitches on her, and then in December I'll do the back stitch. So there's my. This project has become a nemesis. And my friends on Zoom know already exactly what I'm talking about. This is Tetelestai by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. And if you've been following me for the past few months, I have been stitching and frogging and stitching and frogging and stitching and frogging on this project. And this month was no exception. So here's where it is. I hope you can see that. So here's where it is. And I stitched and I frogged and I stitched and I still got a frog because I was working on this and I've stitched, I know I frogged this at least once. I think I frogged all the way back to here at some point. I don't know, but it keeps coming out wrong because this is too high. This should be under the crossbar of the cross instead of like even with it. And so I'm like, why does this keep coming out wrong? And the fact that it's too high says that the problem is up here somewhere. The problem is right here. This is where the problem is. There's not enough space right here. And so all of this is wrong, and all of this is going to have to come out. And I'm not sure about this. I think this part might be okay, but the rest of this is all wrong. And so this just happened. What is this? This is Sunday. This just happened Thursday night. And I was so frustrated. And yeah, I was just really frustrated. I was on Zoom with Sammy and yeah. So I I still had to finish some stitches because I still had a prompt for harvest stitches that I had to finish. And so I just went and did the remaining stitches on the border because I didn't, I'm not going to keep stitching here because I'm going to have to frog it. So I just went and put the rest of the stitches on the border. But so this is this is a this project wasn't supposed to be this hard, and it's become a problem. So I've done 400 stitches, but I've probably frogged like 250 or 300 of them. I am not happy with this project right now. Okay, this project. This project was a category, and this is also one that appears frequently on this channel. This is Under the Evergreen by Teresa Winsler. I did 218 stitches on this, and every time I work on it, I try to do at least 100 stitches in the tree. So I did 100 stitches in the tree, and then I did this right here is his part of the Jack in the Box. This is the edge of the box of the Jack in the Box. And no, I think that's what I did. Did I do any other stitches? Yeah, I think that's what I did. I did the stitches in the tree and the part of the Jack in the Box right here and the edge of the box right there. So 218 stitches, and I did that to, well, it was a category. I needed the 18 stitches to finish out my goal for categories. So, because Cabin Fever was only 782 stitches, so I had to make up 18 stitches somewhere. I finally, we're in September, and I finally made it to over 1,000 stitches on this piece this year. This piece has not gotten the amount of attention it needed this year. But hopefully that'll get remedied next year. Hopefully we'll get a plan in place because this really does need to be finished. I have other Teresa Winslow pieces to do. I have other projects that I need to do, and this really does need to get finished. Okay. Another project that has shown up, I think, just about every month on this channel for the past 2 years is my beloved dogs. Look at my dogs. Look at my dogs. Look at this dog. He looks like a dog. Look at him. He's got eyes, and he's got a nose, and he's got a mouth. He looks like a dog. He's got a chin. He's got 2 ears. Well, he's got the start of a second ear over here. But he's cute. He looks like a dog. I did 700 stitches on him this month, I'm pretty sure. Retriever 700. I did 700 stitches, and he went from being a blob to looking like a dog, and I'm very excited. So he's going to come back out for categories this month. So I also made a WIP goal on this one. I finished my 5,000 stitch goal on him. So I think about half of those stitches went into finishing the black dog, and finishing all this grass, and then the rest of them have gone into this dog. So, but he's going to get some more attention. I know I've said this before, but when I pulled out this project, when I pulled this project out at the end of 2020 to get it ready for No New Starts, it was kind of a chore to work on it because I needed to get some stitches in it to have enough stitches to put it in no new starts. And it was kind of a chore to work on it. And I was kind of afraid of when I pulled it back out that it was going to be like, I was going to have to slog through it. But I really don't. I really love this piece. And the dog is so cute. Uh-oh. Um, all right. Next piece. This is this is a problem piece that is no longer a problem piece. So that's good, right? This is Mine is the Trick and the Treat by Prairie Moon. And I did 400 stitches on this month. And I pulled this out because I needed a black cat for road trip. And of course, Halloween pieces always have black cats on them. So there's, all right, I'm on that. I filled in, what did I do? I finished this, okay, fine. We'll do it like this. I finished this skull motif right here, and I finished this, and I did this bat and this motif right here. This bat is such a pain in the butt. There's a bunch of quarter stitches to make his wings, and there's it's the same kind of thing like this where they're in a like four. So there's a partial bat here and a bat here and a partial bat here, and they've got all of those quarter stitches in it, and it's a pain in the butt. So, and the night that I was doing that bat, I needed stitches for harvest stitchers, and it was getting to be late, and it was taking too long. So I went over here and I did all this lettering right here. This is part of the motif that's on the next page. Um, so I did this lettering just because I needed to get my stitches in. There's Line is the Trick, and the fabric is Flapper by Pictureless Plus. It's a lot more purple in real life. It's coming up kind of gray, blue, purple, but it's a lot more. It's a lot. Let's see, yeah, that's kind of a little bit better. It's a lot more like true purple in real life, and not really blue or gray. Um, so I did 400 stitches on that for road trip. I dropped something over there, and I don't know what it is that I dropped. I hope it's not something that I intended to show. Okay. So this is another piece that I'm having to kind of hustle on to make my goal. Um, this is Savannah's Curtsy by Mirabilia. And my goal for this one is also 5,000 stitches. And at the beginning of September, I was at 1750, 1850, which is nowhere near 5,000. So I figured out that I'm going to have to do 800 stitches a month for September, October, November, December to get to my goal. And so I did 800 stitches on it for September, and I did a bunch of this white, and you can barely see it, but I did a bunch of the white. I filled in this. I filled in this here at the bottom. So her dress is starting to come together. It's starting to make a lot more sense. Uh, so there's Savannah. So she's also going to be in categories this month, and she'll get 800 more stitches. And we're going to get her to 5,000. And then the goal for next year will also be 5,000. Which I don't think will finish her. She probably won't be a finish until a year after next, until 25. Alright. And my last piece. This piece I pulled out last night because I needed 200 stitches to get to 5,000. And I had finished my categories, and I had finished my stitches on my, and I had a open-ended prompt on the road trip, the shop on the road trip that I needed to finish. I needed 100 more stitches to finish it. And so I pulled out my arbitrary August wheel, and I'm like, let me just see what the wheel says. And this is what the wheel spends. So I was like, that's a good choice. So this is Poppy by Nora Corbett. And I did 200 stitches on her. And this is a project last night that it seemed like it took me 4 hours to do 200 stitches. And I'm not really sure why it took that long. Part of it was distraction. I was on my phone a lot. I was kind of distracted. But it just seemed like it took forever. But I filled in some of this red in here. I filled in some of the gaps. I started on this. So there she is. She's on my list to finish next year. She probably won't get finished this year, but next year. So those are my WIPs. I had a new start. So, this is my first new start since May. And I've been talking about this a little bit. I have a friend that I had promised this piece to, and at first I thought I'll start it when I finish my September categories. And then I thought I'll start it when there's a prompt on the road trip that it fits into, because the prompt is you have to stitch on a house. Well, you get a discount if you stitch on a house. Not it's in the WIP, but it has to be on the house. And so I thought, well, I'll start it when I get to that prompt. But then all of the road trip admins went to Galleria. And so they shut down travel for almost a week because the admins were all at Galleria. And so then I decided to just finish it when I finished my categories, because I wasn't going to be able to travel for a week. So I finished my categories last Saturday night, and I started it on Sunday. And this is Tallman House 1864 sampler by Chessie and me that I promised to my friend. And like I said, I've done 200 stitches and I've already screwed it up. I guess in some ways September was a good month, and in some ways September was a struggle month. I keep screwing up my projects. And honestly, I haven't decided if I'm going to... Yeah, I'm probably going to fix it. Let me not lie, I'm probably going to fix it. So this is where I am. This is one of the trees next to the house. And I messed it up. So I'm gonna have to, I'll probably go in there and fix it. I don't think I'm gonna leave it like that. So there's my new starts. The fabric is Noricea Black Truffle from Fortnite, and the code for fabric was Tin Roof by Weeks Dye Works. And when I went on 123 Stitch, it said the DMC equivalent was 645 and 646, which I pulled out, and they're both grays. So there we go. Even though the cover picture looks nothing like that, but so this is, yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this. But there's my new start. So there's what I worked on, 5,003 stitches. Um, Categories, plans, we have those. Let's look at categories. Categories. The first category, the longest since worked on. My longest since worked on is The Kiss by Mirabilia. I don't think I've worked on it since 2000 or 2001. And, or 2003. It's possible that I worked on it in 2003. But it's been a long time. So, but I have a lot of projects that still need to get goals met. I have some that probably aren't going to get their goals met, but I have a lot of projects that need stitches, a lot of projects that I can meet goals on, and so I don't want to pull out another random project just to put stitches in it. So I'm going to use my alternate for that one, which is the dogs. So I'm going to use my dogs for that one. I'm not going to do that one. My oldest WIP was also the dogs, so they'll get plenty of attention. I imagine they'll get somewhere between 500 and 1,000 stitches. The holiday, minus the trick, again. So when she was getting ready to spin the categories, I was thinking, okay, I hope there's something that minus the trick fits into, and there's something that Savannah fits into, because I need my 800 stitches on Savannah. And I also decided that since I've been working on Line is the Trick, the goal for Line is the Trick is only 3,000 stitches. And I'm at 1,800, and I thought, can I do 1,200 stitches in 3 months? Yeah, of course I can. So I'm like, hopefully Line as a Trick will fit into the categories so I can at least put a dent in that 1,200 stitches. I don't know that I'll do all 1,200 this month, but at least I'll do 400 or 500 of them, do something. And I'll be able to check off another box on WIP Go. My WIP Go board is seriously struggling this month, or this year. Like, I think probably at the end of the year, I'll probably only have 9 or 10 of the squares done. I don't think I'm going to get very many of them done. We're going to talk about WIP Go after, after a while. So Holiday is Line is the Trick has words. My original thought for this, because this is also a piece that I want to finish, and it's unlikely that I'm going to finish it this year, even though that was the original hope. It's unlikely. Is Linus, or not Linus the Trick, is Tetelestai. Have we talked about Tetelestai? And my frogging and ripping and frogging and stitching and restitching and refrogging and restitching and refrogging? Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to use that. If I don't use that, maybe I'll use Three Things Sampler, or I don't know what I'm going to use. Maybe I'll use, oh, maybe I can use the Tillman Sampler. That has that little verse on it. Maybe I'll use the Tillman House Sampler. I don't know, but I may or may not use the Telestai because that project is naughty. And a WIP older than 2 years, which means you started it before 2022, is going to be Savannah, because I started her in 2006, I think. So those are my categories. Other plans, it's Halloween, October, dark October stitching, Halloween stitching, all of that stuff. And I was talking to the girls on Zoom about this last night. I might do like a small for Halloween. I'm not starting a big Halloween piece. I only have one Halloween piece. Line is the Trick is the only Halloween piece that I have. I might start a small one, like out of the Just Cross Stitch magazine, or I probably have a kit somewhere. I don't know. But I might do something small. Um, I just bought a chart today that I'll show you in Stash. Uh, but it's bigger than I want. I'm probably not going to start that because it's bigger than I'm looking to start. But if I can find a like something out of the Just Cross Stitch magazine or something kind of that size, maybe I'll do that. In fact, I have one. I have one from the Whistle Stop Stitcher that I bought probably 2 or 3 years ago. Happy Jack by Whistle Stop Stitcher. So maybe I'll do that. That's a good candidate. And he's cute. So, um, so do I have any other plans? The other thing that I might start, and I haven't decided yet, I don't know exactly when I'm going to start this, is this, let me get it, is this Travel Memories piece by Dimensions Gold Collection. This is also for a friend. Um, I don't know when exactly I'm going to start this. He doesn't know about it, so, he's not in a big hurry because he doesn't know about it. So I don't know if I'm going to start this year. Maybe I'll start it in January. I don't know. But that's another possibility. Um, I think that's all for plans. I don't, finish the categories, continue on road trip. She's hoping that this leg of road trip will be done by the end of October. And I'm still kind of at the beginning. I'm only on the fourth shop, I think. And it didn't help that she may have stopped traveling for almost a week. But um, I need to hurry. But I also have some coupons and some discounts. I have some coupons that expire at the end of the year that I need to use. So I'm probably going to use some of those and get a little bit of help that way. Um, so I'm going to continue on road trip, continue with categories, harvest stitchers. I was doing the monthlies and daily 30, and I kind of dropped that in August. I didn't do August, I didn't do September. Maybe I'll pick it up in October. I don't know. Um, so yeah, I want to do the October section on my, and like I was saying, finish all of the miscellaneous bits that I haven't done yet on my, and get her caught up to October. So that everything that's not October, November, or backstitch is done. Um, oh, it's not on here. So let's talk about WIP Go. So WIP Go has been a struggle for me this year. Um, I and this has been a problem every year that I've done WIP Go. I think this is my fourth year doing WIP Go, and this has been a problem for me every year. But I mean, I'm making my goals too big, and this year in particular, but I'm sure it's happened in the other years too. But I know this year in particular, one of the things that happened is that I I kind of made up some goals just to fill in the space, and they're not really goals that I was, you know, I just kind of made them up just because I needed to fill in the space. That's not a good idea. I don't recommend that. Don't do that if you're making a WIP board. Um, so those are the two big things that contribute to why uh, I'm probably only going to get 9 or 10 of my squares done this year. So somebody a few weeks ago asked, hey, what are you going to do for next year's WIP board? Has anybody started thinking about next year? And I said, well, I'm either going to do something really simple, like Kate at Fickle Stitches, her board is 500 stitches for each square. I'm like, I'm either going to do something really simple and achievable like that, or I'm not going to participate. And then I was talking to Kate about it, and I was talking to some other people about it, and I was thinking about it, and I thought, I still have some goals that I want to meet, like, you know, like I want to finish. I think I have 7 projects that I want to finish. I want to do 5,000 stitches on the dogs. I want to do 5,000 stitches on Savannah. Uh, I still want to, I have a goal that I put 1,000 stitches into each new start. So I still have some goals that I want to meet, but then there's not enough to fill up the board. But I don't want to do like I did this year, where I kind of made up some goals just to fill in the space. And I also didn't want to make these large goals. Like this year, I have 3 projects that the goal is 3,000 stitches, and I didn't want to do that because I'm only going to get one of those done. Nine Is a Trick is the only one of those that's going to get done. Manuscript is not going to get done. Greta's not going to get done. So uh, I didn't want to do that. So what I did is I thought, I'm going to do a little bit of my goals, and then I'm going to fill in the rest with what Kate does. So I made my goals, and then I picked some pieces to put 500 stitches into that were not already on my goals, and some things that have been neglected, but I'm like, let me bring that out a little bit next year. Let me see if I can kind of uh, work that back into my rotation, especially if I'm going to be finishing these pieces. Like, I can bring some of these other things out. So I have some 500 stitches, and then I have some new starts. So finishes, the 5,000 stitches, 500 stitches, and some new starts. So I made 24 of those, and I put them in the list randomizer, and then I copied and pasted it and doubled it so that there's 48 items in the list randomizer. And then I randomized it. So everything's on there twice, and I randomized it. And so whatever the top 24 were, that's what I made my board with. So that way it's it's a little more truly random. Like, instead of me just making 24 items, um, and just putting them all on the board once, I kind of left it to chance, like, which projects am I going to finish? Which projects am I going to do 500 stitches on? Um, how many new starts am I going to get? So it was a little more arbitrary that way, by having 24 out of 48 instead of 24 out of 24. So the first 24 were the ones that went on my board. And then I changed a couple of them because, like, finished Poppy came up twice. I can't finish Poppy twice. So I replaced the second one with number 25. And 5,000 stitches on Savannah came up twice. I'm not doing 10,000 stitches on Savannah. So I replaced that one with number 26. And then finish a page on 3 things sampler came up twice. And that's just not realistic. I'm not going to do that. So that one I replaced with a different goal. That one I replaced with one of the goals that I may or may not meet this year is finish 5 smalls. And so I put that goal in there. This year, so far, I have 3 smalls. I have the Penguin, I have uh, Marshmallow Sweet by Mill Hill, and I have Cabin Fever by Mill Hill. And I need 2 more. And I've been kind of having this debate with myself. Am I going to do those 2? Because remember I said I didn't want to pull out the Kiss because I have a lot of projects that need stitches, and I could be putting those into something else that needs stitches. And if I start 2 smalls just to finish the 5 smalls, it's the same thing. That's still a distraction from the other things that I could be putting those stitches into. It's not any different than pulling out the Kiss. It's still putting stitches into something else besides these other projects. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Some people told me to lower the goal to 3 smalls, which I have mixed feelings about doing that. So I don't know. Uh, but so there's my WIP Go board for next year, and I'm pretty happy with it. I fixed a couple of things that I'm like that's not going to work, and I think I'm pretty happy with it. Um, I'm going to look at it in December because, as it was pointed out to me, December Laurel may feel very differently about it than September Laurel. Um, the real question is how will December 2024 Laurel feel about it? But um, so I think I'm going to do WIP Go next year. I think I have a kind of a happy medium of a board that's achievable for me, like you know, as opposed to the one that I have this year, where and I think every board that I've had pretty much, which is it's unrealistic for me to do all of that in 1 year. Um, and it ended up with I think 4 of my 7 starts are on there. I think there's 5 new starts. 4 of my 7 finishes. But I say starts. 4 of my 7 finishes are on there. 5 new starts. Uh, the 500 stitch pieces, Chatelaine got on there twice. Greta got on there twice. Silver Moon Tea got on there twice. His Eyes on the Sparrow is on there. Um, I don't remember what else is on there. My 5 new uh my finished 5 smalls is on there. So that's gonna be my book go board for next year, and I think I'm pretty happy with it. So uh, let's do haul. I have I have more haul this month than I've had in quite a while. And like I didn't like place an order anywhere or anything. It's just like, oh look, there's something on Stash and Load. Oh look, there's something on Facebook. Oh look, somebody is stashing. Oh look, I've just kind of been acquiring things from different places. So um, let me show these first. So Stitching Goddess Designs, Athena Spore, who I met at uh, Stitch West in 2021, and she's amazing. I enjoyed talking to her. Um, she, of course, has a Stitching Goddess website or Facebook group where she does cross stitch T-shirts. You can order a T-shirt or sweatshirt with different cross stitch designs on them. And I had never ordered from her before, but so oh, she put out a new design, and we were all talking about it on Zoom, and I decided I wanted to order that. And so, of course, it can't travel by itself. So I ordered 3. So the one we were all talking about is this one. She's got the sloth. We'll stitch it when we stitch it. And then she's also got the cheetah. So I got the sloth one. Several of my friends, Kate and Shannon, uh, I don't know who else. I know Kate and Shannon both got the cheetah one. Shannon also got the sloth one because sloths. Um, I don't know if Kate got the sloth one or not, but I know Shannon did. Um, and then I got I Love to Cross Stitch. And then I got a hoodie. I got cross stitch, coffee and cross stitch. So those are the ones that I got. Um, the hoodie is wonderful. The shirts, and I knew this was a risk. The sh- the shirts are a little more snug than I would have liked. It's not horrible, like they fit, but they're a little more snug than I would like. I was hoping they'd be a little bit looser than they are. Um, so those are my shirts that I bought from Athena. It was a lot of fun. So then something else that I did this month for the first time, I joined the Bestitch Me Fabrics group sometime in August. And so on September 8th, she had the first Friday night fight night that I was there for. And I participated in Friday night fight night. And I claimed 3. You gotta be fast. Like, if you're gonna do fight night, you gotta be there when she puts the fabric up, and you gotta be fast. Because they go quickly. I think all of that fabric was gone in 5-10 minutes. Like, you gotta be fast. I don't even think it was 10 minutes. It was probably more like 5 minutes. So I claimed 3, and I got 2. One of them I was the first one, and one of them, the girl ahead of me passed it to me. So I got, this is 28 count spooky Joblin. And it's like a gray blue. And then I was surprised at this. I wasn't expecting this. Um I was surprised at this because I wasn't expecting this. Um this is 28 count supernatural, which is actually a very similar color to the spooky, except that it's a lot more mottled. It's got a lot more white in it. It's a lot busier and a lot more mottled than the spooky. But I wasn't expecting that they were going to be that similar in color. Um, so I was kind of surprised by that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just not what I thought I was going to get. Um, so there's my first, and these are the first Bestitch Me fabrics that I bought. So I don't. But it was a lot of fun. I don't buy a lot of fabric these days, but Friday night fight night was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to the next one. So D-stash. Abby Bella Stitch was having a D-stash, and I got 2 pieces from her. They're both blackbirds. I got Bluebird of Happiness, and I got Happy Birthday. I think that I'm going to stitch this for a friend. I think that I'm going to stitch this for a friend. This will probably be next year Laurel's project. But I have a friend that I think would like this, and so her birthday's in July, so maybe I'll stitch it for her birthday. And then the last few, well, almost the last few things, the last paper things that I got these on Stash and Load. This is Ivy by Nora Corbett, and this is Solo Tua, also by Nora Corbett. She might be the first petite mermaid that I have. I think I might have Seaflora or Coral Charms. I might have one, but she might be the first one. But I saw somebody finished her on one of the mirror groups. I'm like, I didn't know there was a pink mermaid. Like, where does she come from? So I went and found out which one it was, and then I saw it come up on Stash and Load, and I'm like, yes, please. And then today, and I don't know the entire story about this, but October I know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know the entire story, but there's a bunch of stitching related stuff having to do with cancer for this month. There's a hashtag on Instagram, hashtag It's, what is it? I don't know what it is. The Stitchers Collective, where they have several designers who did designs about fighting cancer. And if you donate to the cancer research, they have a couple of organizations there that if you donate to them, you can download those designs from those designers. It's a fundraiser. And then I also don't know the full story on this, but I also learned that I guess the lady who runs Witchy Stitcher has also been diagnosed with cancer. And they were having kind of a fundraiser for her today where people were buying charts from her, to support her and help her out. And this is what I bought. I went over there because my friends were talking about what they were buying and what was in their cart. And honestly, the Witchy Stitcher is not my style. Um, Her stuff is very dark, and it's too dark for me. And there's not a whole lot on there that I would stitch. Um, it's not my style. But she does have one piece that I like. And this is Edgar Allan Poe the Raven. And it says, "Leave my loneliness unbroken." And so I bought that one. And this is the one that I'm like, it's Halloween, but it's a little too big for what I want for this month. So I'm probably not going to start it this month. What's the stitch count on it? Oh, come on. 141 by 88. So it's a little too big for what I want this month, but that's what I got. And um, is there anything else that I wanted to tell you? I do not know. There probably is something else that I want to tell you. I don't know what it is, and I'll think of it as soon as I turn off the video. Um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, um, I think that's all for me for this month. And happy October, happy Halloween. I'll probably see you right around Halloween. Happy stitching, and I will see you next time. Bye.